Let's start this ish out right. Hi, hello, how you doing? For those of you that don't know me, I am Shazi. So I've been in my freaking feels recently. Hardcore, I have been having to do some intense reflection to understand who I am on a better scale than I have in the past. Because I guess this is just that kind of time. It's May. Stop it. There's a hair in my butt crack. Come on, man. It's inevitable. If you shed, you're gonna get hair in your butt crack. How did we get here? I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't ask me what I'm thinking, because it's 7 thoughts at once. I look like a fool. I'm setting up for a card reading. You don't like card readings, if you don't want that smoke, I'm gonna put the timestamp of where you should skip ahead to. If you just want to hear me rant and talk incredibly emotionally about Avatar: Last Airbender, why don't you just skippity-doo-dah over here on a silver freaking platter, just for you. Cause you deserve it. Yeah, so I'm shuffling some stuff, but I wanted to talk about the fact that I have been reworking through subconscious levels of things that I thought that I had worked out in the past. So let's talk about healing. So you go through specific levels of healing where, like, you know, you recognize what needs to be healed. That's the first step. And then you go through a downward spiral of you realizing that all of your behaviors and what you have allowed yourself to be negatively affected by in your childhood is causing your suffering in the present moment. So you're sitting here with a pile of your own existential doo-doo. Why I said doo-doo so aggressively, don't ask me. Get out of here, silly. So the thing about the levels of healing is that when you go through that big hump of just understanding, of accepting the fact that you are the cause of your own suffering, you gotta feel sorry for yourself a little bit, you know what I mean? Just throwing your little tantrum in your own existential doo-doo, as I have said prior. So you have the initial healing process, which every time it comes back up and then you re-heal because you love yourself enough to understand that this is temporary, that everything in life is temporary. You're just so raw and you feel like your entire foundation has been crumbled and you feel lost again for like the 7,000,000th. Come on, dude. It's like I'm fucking trying to speak parcel tongue up in this business. Thousands. To reiterate the absolute shitstorm. That was me attempting to explain this. There are so many levels of healing. And every time it happens, every time you have to re-heal something that you thought you had fully healed, it makes you feel raw again. And it makes you feel like you're lost and it makes you feel like you're rebuilding. But anybody knows that's ever had to rebuild something that they thought that they have gotten through, it's defeating, right? You have moments, like you go through that and you're like, God, damn it. It's only temporary though. So there are 5 stages of grief. Denial, I don't need to heal. What? Healing's for dorky baby boys. Want you. Do you want tickets to the gun show? Are we gonna kiss right now? Are we gonna? So you got denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. At least we are aware that depression is the stage before acceptance. Maybe that's a way for us to allow our nervous system to rewire. That if you're feeling like you're in an intense state of depression, you're at the stage before acceptance, which if anything will allow you to be more loving and accepting towards yourself. Okay, moving on. So off camera, I decided to pull some cards. We're going back to the ever so wonderful 4 Agreements Oracle deck. 10 out of 10. I thought I was gonna pull 3. It ended up being a whopping 4. I enjoy showing you the cards. We're gonna have a conversation with how each of the cards is perceived to give you different perspectives, because that's gonna make us well-rounded people. Perspectives. We got a don't make assumptions card. Let me throw it up on there for you. So, hey, guess what? Still got crusty nails. What does that make me? Human. Right here. So, learn to ask questions. And what are we not gonna do? We're not gonna make any assumptions. The message that it wants to provide is, it is always better to ask questions than to make assumptions. Have the courage to ask questions until you are as clear as you can be. Once you hear the answer to a question, you won't have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. We have a tendency to allow our minds to run so rampant that we start becoming involved and seemingly lost in an illusion that we have created in our own minds. We can create such an intense narrative in our own mind, but do you know what would 100% calm it down every single time? Asking questions. The biggest assumption we make is through texts. You can't hear the emphasis of another person's words through text message. So something that can be inherently sarcastic can be taken off as you being a rude ass bitch. Ask the damn questions. The next card and the next message that we're going to take into consideration is be impeccable with your word. And it says, seek to know the truth. The message that it wants to convey is, when you hear an opinion and believe it, you make an agreement and it becomes part of your belief system. The only thing that can break this agreement is to make a new one based on truth. Only the truth has the power to set you free. What I take that as is, don't just believe anybody. Even your own thoughts of yourself are an illusion. Seeking to know the truth is always constantly questioning what the truth is. Same thing with science. Somebody can come out with a scientific journal stating one thing, and then a year later, it's like, oh, hey, by the way, what that was a clerical error. But then there are other individuals that are going to believe that what that scientific article specifically stated is the truth. Because the truth is always changing. And what your truth is 100% not the same truths as another person. Question everything and listen to your intuition. Seek to know the truth. All right. So the third one that I pulled is, don't take anything personally and love and respect yourself. The message that it says is, you are never responsible for the actions of others, but you are responsible for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. You may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. You don't have control over what an individual says to you. But what you do have control over is loving and respecting yourself to such an extent that your reaction is met with love and respect. But not to them, to yourself. It's the only thing that we can control is our reactions about the world around us. You understanding that you're a damn dime. You understanding that you deserve the highest level of love and self-respect because simply your existence is valid. Buy yourself that nice candle from Target and just go to town. You are worth it. All right, we are on the last card. And what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna take anything personally. We're gonna ignore the opinions of others. Because the opinions of others is their truth, but it's not your truth. Seek to know the truth. Do you remember her? The opinions of others are their truths. And as much as some people's truths really hit us right in the crotch, the message says, whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their belief system. So whatever they think about you is not about you, it's about them. If someone says some mean stuff to you, if someone calls you a dookie rap, do you think you're a dookie rap? If the answer is no, then that's your truth and that's valid. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little mini reading, and what I like to call my style is aggressive loving. That's the human in me. So we're gonna talk about Avatar: Last Airbender. So the first time that I watched Avatar, it was 5 to 6 years ago, but I did not appreciate it back then because I was ignorant to some things. I wasn't as aware of my inner thoughts as I am now. But when I tell you that I heavily cried multiple times watching this show, and the fact that I wrote things down in my notebook of wokeness, I'm gonna share them with you. I cried so hard when it ended. Like, I was shattered. I appreciate The Legend of Korra in its own category, but there is something just ass-smackingly good about Avatar: Last Airbender. It makes my nipples rock hard. So I wrote some quotes down, quotes that really resonated with me. Do you ever have moments where something like just smack dab hits you in the soul so hard that you end up zoning out and like nodding up and down for a solid 5 minutes? Like rethinking your life and how that is applicable to your life? Just me? Can we talk about the fact that Iroh is, I would want to hang out with that dude so hard. And I love tea, so freaking 10 out of 10 friendship right there. So we're gonna start off by a quote from Iroh, from my man. Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. When I tell you that I had to pause this show just so I could pace back and forth in my room and be like, pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. So much of my behavior, so much of my hard-headedness as a child made sense. Just a tip of the hat, toodaloo. This man, General Iroh, said, true humility is the antidote to shame. We can all have a basic understanding of specific definitions. Like, we've heard humility a million times, right? In shows, in books, in whatever. We've heard humility a lot, but in order for me to purely and properly understand what is being provided for me, I like to look up words so I can get the true meaning, the true definition of them. Humility's definition is a modest or low view of one's own importance. Humbleness. When you leave your physical body, the world's gonna keep turning. It's funny because I talked about that in my past video. Shameless plug right here. People want to so desperately put their importance to what they're doing and what they're providing in the world. We're all valid, dude. Corporations don't give a fuck about us. So you might as well take care of yourself, love yourself. Another freaking banger from General Iroh. The stomach is the source of energy in your body. Everything starts and ends with your stomach. Be our guest, be our guest. Put your stomach to the test. On a personal note, I have a lot of restrictions in my diet because of the fact that I have difficulties with proper nutrition uptake. The key to helping me and my chronic health issues had a large influence with what I was consuming. When I get stressed, I eat sugar, which then fuels my stress, which then fuels my need for wanting sugar. But I noticed that my anxiety and my depression is way worse when I'm actively consuming sugar. Don't get me wrong, I still like to have my dark chocolate. It all starts with your stomach and making sure you're not just surrounded by assholes. Look, when I tell you that Iroh is the absolute tits, this is what I mean. While it is always best to believe in oneself, a little help from others can be a great blessing. To my friends that like being incredibly independent no matter what, and absolutely despise having to depend on other people because it's taking away your own independence, brother. The strongest thing you can do is admit when you need help. It's understanding that you're not perfect and that nobody's perfect, and that with supporting one another, but not to a point where it's detrimental to you. When I tell you that this is an incredibly fragile balance, it's so easy to get lost in the lifestyle of tending to other people. But if you're not tending to yourself first, you're gonna hit burnout so quick. Season 2, episode 19. This is when Aang goes to the Eastern Air Temple to go see ya boy, the guru, where he talks about the different chakras. Oh my God, like, I remember being a young munchkin me and not appreciating the knowledge that was at my fingertips. I'm very aware of the 7 chakras. I'm gonna reiterate it so we can both understand better. Why do you ask? Because we love knowledge. The first chakra is the earth root chakra. It's located at the base of your spine. It deals with survival and is blocked by fear. And this is when you ask yourself the hard questions. What are you most afraid of? You have to observe your own fears being exposed to you, right? And this is when the guru tells Aang, again, this is a reiteration. I worded this in my perspective for me. You are concerned for your survival, but you must surrender those fears. Let your fears flow down the creek. We can't become our fears, but we can observe them and let them go. The second chakra is the water chakra, and it deals with pleasure and is blocked by guilt. So he said, now look at all of the guilt which burdens you so. Accept the reality that these things happen, but do not let them cloud and poison your energy. He said, if you are to be a positive influence on the world, you need to forgive yourself. Third chakra is the fire chakra, and it's located in the stomach. Hey, did we not just say that the stomach is the source of energy in the body? Here we go, full circle. This chakra deals with willpower and is blocked by shame. What are you ashamed of? What are your biggest disappointments in yourself? You will never find balance if you deny this part of your life. Can you tell that I absolutely love this show? So the fourth chakra is located in the heart and is blocked by grief. It deals with love. So what he said was, lay all your grief out in front of you. Love is a form of energy and it swirls all around us. Love has not left and is still in your heart. It is reborn in the form of new love. Let the pain flow away. Oh my God, my mom is making some food right now that smells absolutely fire. You already know that when this is over, we're going in. We're going in. Let the pain flow away. Down the creek you go, letting it go. You know? So the fifth chakra is the sound chakra, located in the throat. Located in the throat. It deals with truth and is blocked by lies, the ones we tell ourselves. You cannot lie about your own nature. It's the chakra of truth. So we have the sixth chakra, and that is the light chakra. It's located in the center of the forehead, where I pointed to aggressively less than 2 seconds ago. It deals with insight and is blocked by illusion. Are we going back to what I said before? If you know, you know. If you made the connection, you made the connection. Education connection. The greatest illusion of this world is the illusion of separation. Things you think are separate and different are actually one and the same. We are all connected, everything is connected, all the elements are one. No one's better than anybody else. No one's worse than anybody else. That's some hard truth tea to swallow. Do you? Way easier said than done. I'm completely aware of this. And the last chakra is the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra, which is the thought chakra. Has she said chakras enough? Does she sell seashells by the seashore? Enunciation, 100%. The thought chakra is located at the crown of the head. It deals with pure cosmic energy and is blocked by earthly attachments. Meditate on what attaches you to this world. Let all of those attachments go and surrender yourself. It takes an avid amount of mindfulness to be aware of these things. All right. So if people watch that swamp episode, they know about the vine monster, which is my boy Hugh. If you're watching this, Hugh. But my boy Hugh said something that really resonated with me, and it's this: pants are an illusion and so is death. My boy Hugh from the swamps just dookie dropped that. Is that a fucking ladybug?
It's a goddamn ladybug. You're not dead, are you? Are you good?
That was really random. But is it random? So I just put the ladybug outside. This is when Toph meets Iroh. This really resonated with me. You sound like my nephew, always thinking you need to do things on your own without anyone's support. There is nothing wrong with letting the people who love you help you. Remember when I talked about the individuals that like to be fiercely independent to the point where it's actually detrimental to them? People love you and want to help you. That's what you get for being wonderful. People love you. Including me. I love you. That's why we're having this conversation. Zuko came in hot with some good banger quotes. In the darkness, hope is something you give yourself. The last couple episodes, dude, that lion turtle spit some shit for us to properly understand and to ingest, to regurgitate. The true mind can weather all lies and illusions without being lost. The true heart can touch the poison of hatred without being harmed. From beginningless time, darkness thrives in the void, but always yields to purifying light. You're gonna tell me that homeboy lion turtle spits that shit out and we don't have an existential crisis right then and there? I was sitting comfortably in my bed. I was looking at probably a recipe on Pinterest because I like to cook. I like to cook. And that fire ass heat exited this entity's, this being's mouth. And I just sat there and I was like, what? What, dude? I'm gonna shit myself. Like, I paused it and then I just kept pressing. I paused it and I was like 10 seconds. 10 seconds back. And I got indigestion. God, knowledge. Am I right? We got some other bangers. Guess from who? Guess from who? Iroh. It's freaking Iroh. It is important to draw wisdom from different places. If you take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Perspectives. This one is from Iroh as well. Sometimes the best way to solve your own problems is to help someone else. Again, this takes a balance. This other one's also from Iroh. You must look within yourself to save yourself from your other self. Only then will your true self reveal itself. But King Boomy, if King Boomy existed in real life, I would 100% be that man's friend. In spurts. You need to find someone who waits and listens before striking. Be willing to listen to your intuition and practice patience. That's what I got out of that. So the last two quotes that really genuinely resonated with me were both from Aang. And it's that the past can be a great teacher. But again, that takes a fragile balance of not thinking that you can change the past and that it would affect your present now. It's more of recognizing what the past can teach you for you to be the best version of yourself in the present. And the last one is, when we hit our lowest point, we are open to the greatest change. There is something so healing about being at your lowest point, because that is the moment where you truly understand and recognize that you are ready to heal. And I wouldn't be the person that I am today if it wasn't for me hitting those intensely, absolutely gut-wrenching low point moments in my life. All right, so we're done. Thank you for listening to the quotes that affected me in a positive way. I absolutely love that show. I love that series. I will obtain the physical copy so I can have my moments. Because there are going to be moments where I create a fort. I'm gonna make a fort. I'm gonna make Avatar-themed snacks. And then we're gonna get in the fort. And we're gonna watch Avatar so I can rewatch these things and then cry again. If you watched up to this point, I want to genuinely thank you and to let you know that you are valid, that your existence in itself is valid. Down, 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 down. Why do I always gotta get sexual? Sex is not the answer to anything, yeah. You look great. You're not dusty. Much love.